Hey everyone, Morgan Heitzma here, and today we're going to talk about DocuSign and getting DocuSign connected to our KW command, as well as sending out forms to get signatures and upload them to our market centers to get approved. Note that this class is also going to be recorded and can be found on our YouTube page. So in about 24 hours after this is done recording here, you should be able to find it. I'm going to drop the link in the chat box down below for you. And again, please feel free to use this chat box at any point in time today. Again, I'll do my best to scan through this as we are navigating the different parts of DocuSign. If by chance I miss any questions, just know that I'm going to stay for a few minutes at the end of class here today. And if by chance just your DocuSign just may not be working the way that you want it to, please feel free to reach out to us at support@scottleroymarketing.com. We'll be happy to jump into your account, take a look, and see if we can help get it back working again for you. All right, perfect. So yeah, today's class all about DocuSign. This is going to be a huge portion within your transactions. So our DocuSign is a KW branded DocuSign account that works within your opportunities inside of your KW command. So first today we're going to go ahead and get that all set up and connected. We're going to locate where we're going to identify where to locate. We're going to identify where to locate this DocuSign portion within our opportunities, and we're going to show you how to kind of connect your market center forms as well as your board forms and use those to get sent out for signatures. So as we are taking a look here today, this is the KW command homepage. If you have yet to sign in here, it's going to be agent.kw.com. We're going to go ahead and sign in underneath Scott's KW command account today. And as we are signing in underneath Scott's KW command, just keep in mind that when we're starting to work on these opportunities and transactions, we're going to use Scott as the agent here today, okay? So taking a look underneath Scott's account here, the first thing that we're going to want to do is click on our name on the top right-hand corner here. And we should be able to see a few different settings here. We're actually going to look for the option called settings. It's going to be third from the bottom here. So we'll go ahead and just give this a click here. As we navigate to the settings page, you'll see a lot of third-party applications on pretty much 2/3 of the page here. As we scroll down, again, if you have, say, Twitter, you can go ahead and connect that. Same thing with Office 365. However, there's going to be a feature here, our DocuSign, which is going to be a little bit different than if you have it just connected. Your DocuSign section right here is going to be where we go to initiate or create that KW DocuSign account here. Now, this first step here is pretty important because if say you have a paid DocuSign account or you have an account that you set up years ago, say when you purchased your first home, that unfortunately is a different DocuSign account and will be incompatible to be used within our KW command. So we actually need a KW branded DocuSign account here. As you see, I already have one kind of connected, so I'm just going to disconnect the account here. There we go. And starting fresh, as we scroll down here a little bit, you should see your DocuSign connection underneath your digital signature and transactions. So again, if you're not seeing this, please feel free to reach out to us. We can jump into your account, take a look, see what may be going on. But more often than not, if you're a market center that uses .loop, you may not have this feature as well. But more often than not, most market centers will have the DocuSign connection right here. How we go to create a KW DocuSign account, we'll simply click on Connect Account right here. It should open up a pop-up here for us to enter our first name, our last name, as well as our preferred email. Now, I always kind of like to say that in the world of sign-ins and logins here, we are still missing some vital information, which is our password as well as our security question. So think of this as about the first half of you getting your KW branded DocuSign account set up. Then we'll simply click Send Registration Email. DocuSign will send an email to you for you to click on and jump into DocuSign.com to create that password as well as that security question. Now, there's a little caveat to this here. Again, like I mentioned before, if you already have a KW account, if you already have a DocuSign account from years ago, or you have a paid version, unfortunately, that email address will be incompatible because there's only one email address associated to one DocuSign account. So if Scott has a paid version underneath scott@kw.com, unfortunately, we can't create a KW branded account for him under this email. But once we go ahead and click send registration email and you create that password security question, all you'll really need to do is come back here. There may be one final authorize button right here that we'll click on to connect that full circle. Now, say you already have a KW branded DocuSign account, much like how I did, and I just disconnected my DocuSign account. If by chance you need to disconnect and reconnect your account, or it gets disconnected accidentally, all we have to do is click on the log in here button, and it should allow us to proceed forward with our email and password. So in this case, I'm just going to type in Morgan Heitzma. And I'm going to click log into DocuSign. Now, one thing to also keep in mind is you see these pop-ups here as well. We have noticed that some web browsers don't quite initiate these pop-ups here. So if you're not getting these pop-ups, we may possibly suggest jumping to the Google Chrome browser, Google Chrome Incognito. Those should help you be able to get these pop-ups to finalize this connection here. Now, by clicking the login here portion, this would be as if we've already created that KW DocuSign account, and we just need to reconnect it again. So all I need to do is type in that email address that I created that account with, as well as that password, and all we'll need to do is click log in. All right, perfect. Now you'll see a banner up at the top here. It may go away pretty rapidly, but what it says is your DocuSign has now been connected, and now we can find these within your opportunities. So now we know that our DocuSign is connected to our KW command. It may shoot up all the way to the top here underneath our connected apps. This just identifies which programs we are currently connected with. And the second step that we'll need to do is we'll actually need to create a contact and an opportunity. So again, going through here, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I'm just going to kind of show you the timeline action. But again, please keep in mind that we have a full in-depth class on creating opportunities as well as creating contacts and managing your database. But in this case right here, all we'll need to do is click on the red KW square. We're going to make our way to our contacts right here. It's going to be second from the top. And in this case right here, I actually have a contact already created. Again, if this is your first time, you can simply click on add contact and fill this in, or you can reach out to us if you need help importing an entire database. But in this case right here, we'll kind of fast forward. We'll use fake name as our contact here. All we'll have to do is give this a click. And once we create our contact, your contact will have a contact profile, which is this right here, where the left-hand side is all the info that you filled out. The right-hand side are all the activities and actions that are going on with that contact. So right here, you'll have the timeline that's, again, pretty much shows what's going on, if they've been subscribed to smart plans or sent emails. But over here across the timeline, you'll have your opportunities here. So here we can actually identify which opportunities fake name here is attached to. Now, they have quite a bit, but what we're going to do is we're going to create a brand new one right here. So we'll just click on this blue plus button. Whoops, sorry, not the blue plus button. We're actually going to go all the way up here right underneath saved searches. We're going to click on create opportunity here. And then again, this will be very much the same form that you have here within your opportunities section. So I'm going to navigate over to the opportunities here, get us a little bit closer to that DocuSign section. And again, this is going to be where your transactions really take place here. But however, it kind of expands a little bit more than just your transactions, because, if we think about it, then that's pretty much when things are under contract and closed right here. Everything else is what you're doing to ensure that successful sale. So we'll just simply click on create opportunity on the top right hand corner. See how it shows that same pop-up as that create opportunity within the contact profile. So for here, we're just gonna create it pretty simple. We're gonna do a personal opportunity, listing opportunity. Client will be that fake name. And again, at this point, if you have a co-seller as well, you can go ahead and add them in right below here. For us, we're just going to create this as a solo transaction here. Scrolling down here, there's going to be three required sections that we're going to need to fill in. One's going to be a commission rate. Again, since this is a test, we'll throw this in as a 0 here. And then your opportunity phase and stage. So if you're already halfway through a transaction with a client and you need to add them to this opportunity here, you have the ability to kind of fast forward them all the way up to, I believe, active negotiations. Because again, once you get under contract and close, then that kind of acts like that locked in deal. But in this case right here, we'll just do a simple cultivate watch. That should appear within this section right here. Again, it's going to be underneath Scott's personal opportunities. And once you create an opportunity, it opens you up into the actual opportunities details page right here. I'm going to back out once here, and I'm just going to kind of show you where that opportunity ended up. Again, that cultivate watch section. So all we'll need to do is click on the icon here, and you'll see that fake name listing. Where are we? Right here. So right here we have that cultivate underneath the watch section. I can move this over to nurture so we can identify this brand new opportunity a little bit easier. And from this point onward, if we ever need to get into our opportunity and start working on documents, submitting documents to our market centers, things like that, creating commissions, all we'll need to do is click on the fake name listing, the blue title up top here, right here. Now, again, if this is a listing, we would kind of encourage you to update the opportunity name to the actual listing address. So I can click on this little pencil right here. And so as we kind of, where is this? Up top here, fake name listing, maybe 123 Main Street instead right here. So again, switching this over to 123 Main Street, keep in mind, you'll still have your contact's name right below it. But again, it just kind of helps you be able to identify which opportunities are for which locations. All right, perfect. So now that we're actually inside of a brand new opportunity here, it's a listing opportunity, we're just going to kind of take a look at the details, marketing, documents is going to be where that opportunities or that DocuSign rooms is going to be. So inside of documents right here, if this is a brand new opportunity, you may not see anything in here just yet. However, again, on the left-hand side, we'll have to pick a checklist type. This is going to be our first step right here. Please keep in mind that my checklist type may look a little bit different than yours. Your market center is the one that creates these and updates these, okay? So it is expected that my checklist may have different stuff than yours. But clicking on checklist type, again, you may not have as many as I have right here, but you should have at least residential listing. We'll go ahead and select that. And then once we select residential listing right here, you see that you have a listed, under contract, and closed section. So as we navigate through these, it asks for different types of documents right here. So again, kind of helps you be able to orient which folders go at which times, in which times of the transaction. So underneath listed right here, taking a look on the right hand side, you see all these documents that we need. First and foremost, it always gives you the option to drag and drop from your computer. So if I need to drag and drop a document, I can simply drag it right here. It'll upload, and it'll also give me the status of upload right here. But if you have your DocuSign successfully connected, like we did within our settings right here, you'll have an additional option to pull in forms that have already been sent out for signatures and ready to be uploaded here. So before we do this, the first thing to note on the right-hand side is the Start a Transaction button. This dark gray Start a Transaction button, what this means right here is this button, what this means right here is this DocuSign has been successfully connected within our settings. However, we have not successfully connected a DocuSign room to this opportunity yet. So you're ready to connect one, we just haven't just yet. So once we click on Start a Transaction, we can click on DocuSign right here. Again, if DocuSign's your only connection, you may not have a drop down right here. It may just automatically pull you in. But clicking on DocuSign right here, what should happen is it should give you a pop-up for a new tab, and it should create that DocuSign room for you. Now, again, once we create a DocuSign room here, you may or may not have folders or files that pull in automatically. This will be dependent on your market center and what they have set up on the back end. But more often than not, you may have something that looks similar to this right here, just a blank room. Now, once we connect this to our opportunity, your button is going to become a kind of like a blue button or a white button with blue text right here. So as we see that swapped over, and this is a good indicator that there is a DocuSign room that has been successfully created for this opportunity. Not only that, but down below here, before we only had the option to attach files from our computer right here. So as you see right here, but I also have the ability to now attach files from DocuSign. So here it gives me attach files from DocuSign, and then you have something called a working folder. So every DocuSign room creates a room docs working folder. So that's your standard folder that automatically gets populated in here. As we go ahead and take a look, you'll see that right here, our room docs. I can go ahead and close this and open it. There's not really any documents right here. One thing to note is as we are kind of creating and pulling in a number of different forms, you're going to have some forms that have been signed already, and you're going to have some forms that you're still currently working on. So I may suggest, clicking on this Actions button on the top right-hand corner here, and this should give you the ability to add another folder. So in this case, I may write a signed docs or create a signed docs working folder as well. So now I can start to divide all my signed documents to my working documents, so I can actually easily find my working documents a little bit easier to send out. Now, as we are taking a look and talking about documents here, that's going to be probably the most important thing that we get set up within our DocuSign here. So as we take a look to kind of orient ourselves before we navigate away here is currently, as we created this DocuSign room, you see that says 123 Main Street. So again, that kind of pulls in information that we've created the opportunity under. So everything below this title here is currently what we're working on inside of this DocuSign room / opportunity, okay? So everything above it right here is going to be navigating outside of this DocuSign room. Now, I always like to kind of consider the documents page as the kind of the home page, because every time we click on it within our opportunity, it kind of takes us there. But you also have a details section, a people section, an envelope section, messages, and history right here. And we'll try and cover a good majority of this here today. The document section is going to be that kind of home page to reorient ourselves. Now, our details is also a really cool page here, and we'll get to that in a minute. It kind of works hand in hand with your opportunity, so it's really cool. So first, let's go ahead and connect all of our forms so we can pull them in to fill them out and get signatures. So how we do this is on the top right-hand corner here, you'll see your headshot or your initials. Once we give this a click, we should be able to drag down and find preferences right here. Within our preferences, on the left-hand side, you'll see 4 different clickable options. We're going to choose the integrations option here. Now, our integrations is going to be where we're going to be able to connect our market center forms, our board forms, our zip forms, whichever forms you're currently utilizing. So first and foremost, if you don't have company forms right here, that's perfectly fine. You may have only a blue button that says Add Provider. And if we give this a click right here, you'll see a number of different options that we can select to connect our board forms. Now, you'll see Cancel button right here on the bottom left. If we follow this all the way to the right-hand side, you'll see a little bit of text that says Continue to Company Forms without validation. Now, we'll want to go ahead and click on this because this is what pulls in our Market Center forms to be able to be used within our DocuSign here. So go ahead and give this a click here first if you don't have it already connected. And once you click on that, you should have this company form section pop up here. Now, we'll go ahead and click on Add Provider one more time. And again, this will be dependent on your board location here. So again, if you have CAR, OREF, Georgia Realtors, Northwest Multiple Listing, Texas Realtors, or the National Association of Realtors here. So this may be more of a common one here. But again, any of those other locations, you can simply log in. With the NAR, go ahead and enter in your 9-digit NRDS number, your last name, and the association that you belong to. And then once we go ahead and click Validate, that should pull in your board forms. Now, as we're taking a look, I know some market centers and some locations use zip forms for their forms here. So again, at the very top here, we'll have this. We'll follow zip forms all the way over to this blue arrow here. Give this a click. Then we'll enter in our zip forms username and password here. What this will do is this will allow you the ability to not only pull in forms from your zip forms library, but it should allow you to be able to pull in your transactions folders as well. So forms that you've already currently halfway working on, you should be able to pull them into your DocuSign here and finish them up to get sent out. So I currently don't have either one of these, so we're going to leave this where it's at right now, but please be sure to connect these. Once we get these connected here, I'm going to click on Rooms. Remember, we've already exited our DocuSign room here for 123 Main Street. However, once clicking on Rooms right here, you should see all the different DocuSign rooms or DocuSign rooms that you've connected with your opportunities here. On the top left-hand corner, it's going to show you the most recent up-to-date one. So we'll just go ahead and click on this and jump back into our DocuSign room. So making our way back to the details section, the documents section right here. Reorient ourselves to the home page of your DocuSign room. Now what we can do is we can click on this blue Add button on the top right-hand corner. And again, we can pull in forms from our computer. We can pull in forms from any kind of digital storage, but we also have these 2 options right here. So again, if you're utilizing zip forms, we can go ahead and click on this right here without, we can click on this right here and it should allow us to be able to see a drop down of either our zip form library or transaction folders. For our DocuSign forms right here, all we'll have to do is give this a click. And it should pull up 2 different sections here for us. So the first section is going to be called Packets, and if we have a little bit of time here today, we'll jump into that. But you'll also have a section called Libraries. Now your packets are going to be where you can pull any of these forms, create your own template, and then create your own packet as a buyer packet or a listing packet to allow you to be able to kind of easily pull forms from a specific folder, like buyer disclosures, great example right here, without having to navigate through all of the different forms to pull the ones that you want. So Great option for the packets here. Your market center will also be able to create these for you. So if you jump in here and you say, hey, I don't remember creating this specific packet, chances are your market center may have for you. Now down below here, again, you may not have as many options as I have, but you should have at least a market center as well as a board section right here. So again, your market center will have specific forms here. Your board will as well. So again, whatever you're specifically looking for, we'll say we'll pull in 3 of these right here. Whatever you're looking for, we can go ahead and give this a click and we can add to our room. Now, if you're not quite sure what this specific form is, we can always click on preview before we pull it in. So here we can kind of see what that looks like. It will say sample form again, because this is just a viewable option for you. And then once we actually add to our DocuSign room, that sample will be removed and you'll be able to kind of add any kind of additional text or information onto it. So we pull these in right here to our room docs. I'm going to refresh this because it typically gives us a preview of what that form looks like. There we go. And now we can kind of see all the different forms that we have. Now I do want to highlight something really quick before we move on, is the DocuSign forms, or what they call the power forms, DocuSign power forms. So zooming up right here on the bottom right hand corner, you can see these little icons that say form on them. They're blue with form. Now what this does right here is this allows you to add in information on your details page, and this form will scan that information and apply it where it needs to go onto this form. So it really kind of helps allow you to not have to do double data entry. Unfortunately, a fantastic question. Can you get these forms without being an agent? I believe you may be able to pull in your market center forms, but as far as your board form goes, you're going to have to be a board member, right? So you may have to sign up for NAR or something like that. But it should allow you to be able to click on that continue to company forms without validation, without having to have that credentials, because that's just going to be straight through your market center. Fantastic question. All right, as we're taking a look right here, we have 1, 2, 3 different forms. Again, if say this form was signed, I can just quickly drag it up to that signed docs section right here. Before I zoom back out right here, I also want to highlight that if I were to pull over a PDF from my computer, right, and upload this, again, keep in mind the 2 different icons right here. Your PDF, you'll be able to send that out, add signatures, but unfortunately it will not be able to allow you to fill in the actual document. So a great example right here. We'll refresh this again. A great example right here is within your power forms. It creates these boxes for you. So again, the agent Scott Leroy, because we're in Scott's KW command right now, but it also allows to pull in all these information, or for you to enter in this information yourself. Unfortunately, with PDFs, consider it like a picture of your document, where it doesn't quite have those robust features, where it's just going to be a copy of that form, that document. Now, as we're taking a look at the details and talking about the cool power forms here, going over from documents to details right here, you'll have all this information that you can populate. Now, the left-hand side, we're going to ignore this column right here for a second, but the left-hand side is essentially going to be all the information on that property. So right here at the very top, you have the opportunity name. If this was a listing or a buyer, we created underneath the listing, and then the market center that's associated with. But as you scroll down right here, you see the MLS ID, the street address, the listing details, the offer details. So you have pretty much information on that listing here. The right hand side right here is going to be the people. So you're going to see seller one, since we create a listing opportunity for fake name, they're going to be seller one right here. We did not create a co-listing. Yeah, we didn't create a co-listing, so there wasn't a seller two right here, or co-seller, sorry. Listing agent one, since we're underneath Scott's account and we created the listing, Scott's going to be the listing agent. Listing agent two right here, you're going to have buyer one, you're going to have buyer two, and then you're going to have buyer agent one, buyer agent two, and then buyer broker and listing broker. So on the right hand side, scrolls all the way down, but think of these as the people that are involved with the transaction here, and this is going to be kind of the transaction itself. So so one cool thing that I absolutely love about the connection between opportunities and your DocuSign room right here, especially on the listing side, is the listings allow you to have a specific button right here that says select from listings. And we really get to enjoy this and over on the details tab of our opportunity here. So again, keep in mind, you have your details on your opportunity, and then you have your details on your DocuSign room right here. So seeing right here, once we created that DocuSign room, everything was synced up because we created the opportunity first. But say we need to add edit information. In this case, we need to add a listing. We can select from listings up at the top here. If nothing shows up, we can just toggle show only my listings to show all listings right here. And then we just simply type this in. So I'm just going to type in 123 Main Street. Perfect. And at this point, let me scroll down. I'm going to go ahead and select this listing right here. And what's really cool is it should pull in all of this listing information for me onto this opportunity. Did you see that? It happened really quick, but it pulled in all of this information right here on the property side right here. When this happens and when we edit information within our opportunity, we may possibly see something that says that has like an orange label that says edited right here. So this right here means that these pieces of information have not yet been synced or transferred over to your DocuSign just yet. So in this case, all we'll simply need to do is sync transaction, and it'll send this information over to your DocuSign room. So we see that some information hasn't been changed yet, and that's hasn't been changed at all, and that's perfectly fine. We still want fake name as the listing seller. We'll click on update right here, and then once we update this, we'll refresh one more time, and it should have everything resynced back up. There we go, perfect. So so now we're pulling in information. Rule of thumb is update the information first within your opportunity, and then update the information within your details. Because again, your details will auto pull this information. And if you start here, it'll be just less and less information that you'll have to re-enter again. So now that this has been resynced over, I can go ahead and click on my details tab again. Again, keep in mind we pulled a listing in. We don't have any information right here, but all we have to do is refresh again. It should pull all that info over. Perfect. So here's that MLS ID right there. There's that address, state, city, year built. So again, it pulls in all this information right here for you. And not only that, but when we go back to our documents right here, this pulls into your forms as well. We'll give this a click. And there you go. You see that 123 Main Street, that MLS listing number, expiration date, listing price. So again, look at all this information that's starting to fill out without me even having to go through here. And again, it's always best before you send forms out to double check, make sure that everything is filled out. But it should really help you save a little bit of time right here. Now, in this case right here, we say we filled out these forms and say that they're ready to be sent off for signatures. So in this case right here, all we have to do is click on the checkbox that's on the top left-hand corner of these forms. And when we do, there's going to be a menu option that opens up right up top here. So we can kind of see that in real time by checking and unchecking. And as we take a look right here, the center option is going to look like a little pen right here. This is going to be the option that we want to create an envelope with. So an envelope is essentially an email. They kind of use the same context as if you were to mail an envelope to physically through the postal service, but only this is going to be digital through email. Now, first and foremost, they provided a cool pop-up feature here probably about half a year ago. And this allows you to be able to pull in the buyer one, seller one, all of that information to automatically have that ready for you to send out to those specific people. So in this case right here, if I wanted to, I can click on seller one, and that should pull in that fake name information for me. So I'm going to click continue right here. And as you see, it pulled in that name and email address, that fake name and email address for me. So so again, pretty cool option. If you don't want to have to hunt for those names and email address again or double entry them, you have the ability to kind of just use that checkbox right when it pops up. But before we get too far into the recipients right here, up at the very top, there's that one document that we pulled in. We can view that document to make sure that's the one that we want to send out. And then on the right-hand side right here, we have the upload option. So again, if you say, shoot, I wish I forgot that I had to add this other document as well, all we can do, all we simply need to do is click on that upload button right here, and then we can browse from our computer. We can use one of those templates that if we have time, I'll show you here in a minute. But more often than not, it may already be inside of your DocuSign room, and we can just simply click on Add Room Documents right here and find those that additional form that we want to pull over. Click Add Selected right here, and now we have that second form that we forgot. We'll give it a second here to upload, and there we go. So now we have the ability to view both of these. Perfect. It's exactly what I was looking for here. And now as we're taking a look and scrolling down here, it may have pre-populated some more names just based off of what was found on these specific forms right here. But again, if I don't need this many individuals, I can go ahead and click on this delete button on the right hand side here. There we go. And then we can just go ahead and start off with one individual that we're going to send this to. So the way that this recipient section works right here is it's going to go in a timeline order. So signer one's going to sign, and once signer one has completed their signatures, the form's going to be sent over to signer number two. And signer two is going to sign them, and once they are completed, it's going to be sent over to signer number three, and so on and so forth. So as we're taking a look right here, we have fake name, but we may want to add Scott in on this email as well, because Scott's the listing agent. Let's type in Scott Leroy, and it should search for that data and pull that in here for me, or at least give me options to select which information I would like to choose. So as we see right here, we'll go ahead and add Scott right here. And as we take a look, you'll see that signing order. Signer number one is going to be fake name. Signer number two is going to be Scott Leroy. So again, if we kind of take a look and we start adding names here, and again, we say, ooh, maybe Scott needs to be signer number one, and we move Scott up right here. Again, every once in a while when we deal with technology, it may not work exactly the way that we're intending them to, intending the technology to work. This is one of those cases right here where I'd really like to highlight, just kind of be mindful as you're moving individuals around right here. Look what happened when I moved Scott to be signer number one. They both ended up being signer number one right here. This may end up causing complications as you're sending your DocuSign envelopes through. So again, just keep in mind, we may want to manually take a look and adjust this as needed. So if we want Scott to be signer number 1, we may need to manually set fake name as signer number 2. And then there allows us to be able to readjust that order. So moving over here to the right-hand side, you do have the ability to say that this individual needs to sign, is going to be an in-person signer, only needs to receive a copy, or only needs to lay eyes on the form. You have a number of different options right here, but again, you also have a customize where you can add a private message or a specific code in order for them to be able to sign. So last but not least, a cool new feature that gives you the ability to bulk send. So again, if you need to bulk send something out to a number of different individuals, we can give that a click. You'll see you have the name, email, all the way down. So this may come in handy if you need to send something out to a number of different individuals. All right, scrolling down here, we have, let's use fake name as number 1 again. There we go. You'll see that error. There we go. So as we scroll down, last but not least, you have a message option right here. And again, this is simply what the email is going to state. And DocuSign does a pretty decent job of giving a good a button for your signer to click on and walk them through what it looks like to sign. But again, if you need anything specific on here, please have signed back by Tuesday, so on and so forth. So any additional information, if you need to add that, you can do so right here. But in this case right here, I'm just going to leave it as is because, again, they do a pretty decent job of setting that email up. All right. As we are taking a look at this right here, once we hit on the next page, you're going to have pretty much 3 different sections right here. The first section is going to be the middle section. It's going to be your form here. And again, as we scroll down, we can go through all the different pages of the forms that we added. I'll scroll this up again. And then the left-hand side is going to be all the tools that we can drag and drop onto this form. The right-hand side is going to be options for the specific tools that you choose, okay? So, again, for example, if I were to move signature over, watch what happens to the right-hand side right here. It moves over to options for the signature right here. And then, example, if I do a checkbox, it moves over with different options as well. So whatever you're on, the right-hand side is going to be your options, left-hand side is going to be your tools, and then the center is going to be that actual document here. So taking a look, starting off with your signature right here, top left-hand corner, it divides the different signers based off of the colors. So signer number 1 is going to be that DocuSign yellowish orange, and signer number 2 is going to be the light blue right here. So as I swap over to Scott Leroy right here, all of his options are going to be blue right here. There we go. Now, if you're looking for options to be required or optional, all we'll need to do is select that option. So right here we'll do signature, and you'll see on the right-hand side there's going to be a checkbox that says required field. So if these are filled in right here, this means that this needs to be signed in order for your client to continue onward. So if we uncheck this is going to be an optional signature. And one thing to kind of take a look at right here, the optionals are going to be kind of a thin outline right here. And then again, the required is going to be in bold. As we scroll down right here, we kind of take a look at these different pieces of text as well. So this is kind of similar to what we saw within our details and our power forms of them being able to pull that information in right here. So again, date, I can double click on this. I can add a date. But one thing to keep in mind is, every once in a while I'll get this question. Your clients are not going to see these boxes right here. This is essentially your last call to complete any bits on this document right here. If we go ahead and click on the preview button on the top right hand corner, this will be what your clients kind of see right here. So they'll have this information automatically populated right here for you. So again, they'll just see the information. They won't have the ability to click and edit or adjust it. You can always click on the preview as well. So right here you can view as Scott Leroy, or you can view as any signer that you want. So this is really cool to allow you to be able to see the process of each signer, and you can actually go through that process as well, as acting as them. So as we're taking a look right here, we have some other options as well. So another thing to kind of keep in mind. So I'm going to kind of delete this date stamp right here, and I may want to pull over a date signed instead. So I may want to drop this on top of that. And again, taking a look at the preview, your date signed is going to be a little bit longer. If you're not used to DocuSign, it may be a little bit longer than what you've intended. There's no real size adjustment when it comes to this, but not only does it add the date, but it adds the time that it was signed as well. So again, this is what it would typically look like for adding that signature, that date stamp over. Adjust it down a little bit. There's no sizing on this, unfortunately, but there is sizing on your signatures, on your initials, things like that. When we click and drag an object over, you'll see these 4 dots, and we can just simply shrink or enlarge depending on how we need it to fit within the form. Another thing that I really appreciate is if you have some content here that you want to apply over, say a page or 2 down, right click, you can copy, right click, you can paste. Typically it kind of just goes down in that right hand corner, but we have an option that says paste to location. So for example, if you need to sign something down here, we can right click, we can click on paste to location, and that will give that object placement right in that specific location for you. As we're kind of taking a look a little bit further right here, you have a drop down. I really enjoy the drop downs myself. Really kind of adds a variety. There's a lot of different options right here, right when you drag the drop down over. But truthfully, it opens you up into the section that you need. So as you see right here, you have add option. All I need to do is add option 1, option 2, and option 3 right here. And then once I double click on this, it should allow me to see this in real time. And again, if I want 1 to be a standard default, say maybe 2 should be that standard default, I can have that selected as well. So once I double click on this again, it should show as a 2 right here. Now at this point right here, again, I can fill in any kind of any kind of information right here. Again, I can double click this again. I can unselect it. So for those of you, if you're having troubles with checkboxes, maybe come back over to your e-signature side, double click one more time. It should allow you to be able to uncheck and select. Now again, if you're ready to send this out, on the bottom right hand corner, we can hit send right here. If you're not quite ready, we can go ahead and hit actions on the top right and click save and close, and then come back to this a little bit later. Or we can simply discard it if this was just a test or practice for us. In this case right here, I'm going to go ahead and send this off. It's going to say sending right here. And once we send this off, we should be able to come back to this at any point in time within our envelope section. So again, trying to reorient ourselves. Documents is going to be that kind of home page right here for us. we're just going to move two over to our envelopes right here. And you'll see our envelopes right here for us. So this gives you additional information. I love the editability that they've provided within this envelope right here. So giving this a click right here. Sorry, actually, before we jump into this, you'll see that says waiting for others. It also has a time icon right here as well, a clock icon. So it just kind of lets you know that this is still in transit to get all of the signatures that it needs. Again, we can give this a click right here. We can jump in. We can actually see who we're currently waiting to sign this document, and then once they're signed, it'll be sent over to the next person. So this person is currently waiting for this person to finish sign. Now, say for example, I accidentally created a wrong email address. I put 2 E's in this email instead of 1. We can simply correct this by clicking on correct right here. It'll jump us back to the very beginning of this DocuSign right here. And again, I'll just simply delete one of these E's, and then I'll just continue on. I'd hit next right here, and then I'd hit correct on the bottom right. And there we go. And now we've corrected that envelope. We've sent it out to the correct email address. As we give a look here, fake email. We've removed that additional E right there. So now again, we're just we're hoping that that fake name finds that and sends those signatures off. Now, again, say another day or two went by. We know that this is the correct email address now. We fixed it. It was incorrect before, but still, your client may not have received it just yet. We also have this resend button right here that we can simply just resend. Resending will send an email reminder to any outstanding recipients in the envelope. So we can go ahead and resend that. And then again, that should help them be able to kind of find that email and finish those signatures. So, perfect. So we got about 5 minutes left. I think for the most part, that's really how we kind of utilize our DocuSign right here. Just going back to an opportunity right here, clicking on documents. Again, it'll only show documents that are signed right here. So again, you have you have a PDF that will show as well, but in terms of the power forms in your document section of your DocuSign room, when we go to our opportunities, it won't show anything that's not signed. So since that was a fake email that I sent over, it won't come back signed. So I may not be able to show you that. But it should look like, again, another icon, and it should look green with, I think, like a check mark or something. So and those will allow you to be able to pull into your opportunity here. Now I did pull in a PDF as well. PDFs, again, they act as that standard copy. So if you had a signed document on your computer and you uploaded it, it would still allow you to be able to add that in through the DocuSign room. So that's why my PDF is still showing, but none of the rest of them are. And again, once we've selected that, it doesn't give us another option to add it again because each checkbox requires a specific form. Now, once these have been uploaded, you can simply submit to your market center. The status will turn from uploaded to submitted, and then once it becomes approved, it'll say approved or denied, dependent on specific information. Now, last but not least, going through here, we have our taking a look at the very top right here. We're gonna exit out of this one specific DocuSign room. Okay. So we're just going to click on rooms one more time just to kind of know that we're outside of that 123 Main Street. And we're going to move over to our documents right here. So this is going to be, again, remember when we pulled in our market center and our board forms through our preferences here, this should show up down below here for us to be able to view or create a template off of. So again, if you know that there's your information is going to be added into a specific location every single time, you may be able to create a template off of that where you don't have to kind of keep entering that in. Now, that also kind of shows you how many templates are on these specific forms right here. So there's a template from here, there's a template for here. You can also click down so you can kind of see what that template looks like that was created on April. But for the most part right here, the first step would be to create a template based off of a form that you want. And again, this should look very similar to what we saw in those details and those power forms as well, okay? So scrolling through here, we'll give this another second. All right, perfect. So, yep, so it pulls in these forms here, submitted by, so if we always know it's going to be submitted by Scott Leroy, entered by, you know, date received. So you have all these options right here that, again, if you work on the specific things, again, we can hit save and close right here. And since we added Scott Leroy at the very top there, now we have a template right here for the profile sheet. And once this finishes saving up here, now we have the ability to go and create a packet, and we can say, do we want to use the template packet, or do we want to use this new packet, this new form that we just created here? So as we click on new packet up at the very top right hand corner here, we can add a packet name. Now keep in mind, I believe this goes in alphabetical order right here, so it doesn't go into the newest is the first. So again, alphabetically, I'll just type in 1A. Hopefully that will appear somewhere up close to the top. Then it'll say which library do you want to select from. Since that template I created from the Bright MLS, I may want to select that Bright MLS. So we'll click on that right there. You selected. And now we have the ability to business opportunity profile sheet. We'll give this a click right here. And now we have the ability to kind of pull that in and save that. So here's my A1. Again, you can kind of adjust this to buyer forms, seller forms, commercial forms, anything that you need a packet for that you don't want to scroll through and collect all these individually. You have that ability to kind of pull that in right here. So now when I go back to that DocuSign room and click on my documents right here, once I add a document from my DocuSign forms, now I have that A1. I have the ability to pull this in. But since I created a template off of it, now once I click on this checkbox, I can choose that template that I just created or just the original file. So again, really cool to be able to kind of pull that in. Should really help you guys be able to spend a little bit less time gathering information, pre-populating information into your forms and things like that. All right, as it is top of the hour here, again, thank you guys so much. If you guys have came back from family reunion, I hope you had a fantastic time. Anything we can do to kind of help with your KW command system or your DocuSign, anything like that, please feel free to reach out to us at support@scottleroymarketing.com. We'd love to hear from you. All right, thank you so much. Have a fantastic rest of your day.